All right, welcome back to round two of playoffs in the Wisconsin High School Esports Association. Today's matchup is going to be between Racine Case against Bayport. Going to go ahead and kind of get right into the picks and bans phases here. Let's go ahead and get some of this out of the way here so you can see a little bit better here. Going to go ahead and see a Sejuani ban coming out from Racine Case there right away. Pretty powerful in the tank jungler meta that we're seeing right now. Lucian's also going to go ahead and be banned away by the side of Bayport. Another really early game ADC. Deals a lot of damage in the early game. Case is going to respond with a Vayne ban, another one of those late game ADCs that can really just take the entire game in her entire hands here. And then the Gragas ban coming out from Bayport, a very high mobility jungler that's able to really control the map and have a lot of clutch engages. And then we're going to go ahead and see the Scion ban coming out from Case, really popular top laner, really good engage in CC. And Bayport's going to go ahead and answer with the Thresh. And in 2 seconds, have to let the hounds out. You just have to wait until I'm starting to stream, First pick's coming right out here for Case is going to be Pyke. Although Pyke is listed as a support, we all know that Pyke is not just a support. Pyke can really take the entire bot lane into his own hands, especially with the gold sharing from his kill on the passive there is really helpful. The Morgana pick coming out, I like the Morgana if that's going to be a Morgana support into the Pyke. If you really wanted to pick early for Bayport here, I would pick like a Jinx or a Caitlyn, something that pairs really well with that Morgana. A Sivir would be a fantastic late game pick there as well. Once you get to the end game, if you can make it to end game, Sivir wins. Like, no problem. You build that IE, you build the rapid fire cannon and Berserker Greaves, and you're pretty much indestructible. Throw a Bloodthirster in there for some health regen, and you're good to go. Gonna go ahead and lock in the Kai'Sa. The Kai'Sa kind of makes sense. I like the ability for the engage, especially if you can get that clean shot into the back line. Kai'Sa can really mess up another team. The Hecarim being locked in, that could be a Hecarim jungle, or it's really popular up in the top lane right now. So it could really go either way. I've been watching a lot of the European Masters today, and there's a lot of Hecarim top being played right now. So we'll go ahead and see what Bayport elects to go ahead. They're going to go ahead and pick their mid lane as well. So leaving their jungle and top available. Meanwhile, Case could be going. We could have a jungle spot open, and we could have a mid spot open. So I would imagine that Bayport's going to go ahead and probably ban away some mid laners. So there goes the Talon. Played in the mid lane. So I'd be willing to bet that they're guessing that that's going to be a Hecarim jungle. The Urgot ban makes sense. That's pretty powerful right now, especially because it can be flex jungle or top lane. Again, if I was Bayport, I would get rid of another mid laner, and that's a good hybrid or a flex option to ban away. The Yasuo can go either top or mid, and then a Darius ban coming out, another one of those bruiser carries up in the top lane. I think both teams banned away really well. I like the Zac jungle, especially with the Ahri and the Sivir. The ultimate there, the CC, I think that's a good one. A lot of good engage coming out of that, while your damage dealers just burst everybody down. The Garen pick's kind of interesting because if Garen can get to the late game, he's not going to have super huge team fight engage. Can split push, but can also just be impossible to kill. So if he's able to get tanky enough and get to the back line there too, could be really, really disruptive. Seeing the Braum, gonna be a Lulu. So these could be a Lulu mid. So we could be seeing the machine gun Lulu in the mid. That's been popular in the past. I'm going to go ahead and see a Ziggs mid locked in too here. So that is going to be a Hecarim jungle, Garen top, Pyke support, and a Lulu mid. So that's an interesting team draft there. You have your frontline tank with your Garen. You have some engage from Hecarim. Not a ton of CC. You have that pull by Pyke, the engage there. But ultimately not a lot of really good engage. I like the engage and the burst damage that's going to be coming out of Bayport. So as we're entering into the spectator delay here, go grab a drink of water, go to the bathroom, and lock in for about the next 30 to 40 minutes of BRB. No, wait. Okay, good boy. Hi, Charlie.
They seem so harmless, small, quiet, lapping at their saucer of milk. But once their claws get long enough, they draw blood, sometimes from hand or feet. For those of us climbing to the top of the food chain, there can be no mercy. There is but one. Hunt or be hunted.
Did go ahead and start a poll there, so if you just type exclamation point vote space and then 0 for Case or 1 for Bayport, who do you think will win this series? So it's kind of interesting that that's going to be a Ziggs top going into the Garen. I'm going to go ahead and say that that's a wild card play right there coming out of Bayport right off in game one here. Just really throwing a massive curveball. I can almost promise you that Garen has never played into a Ziggs in lane, so it'll be curious to see how Garen is able to go ahead and work around this. So we do see that both junglers are just going to go ahead and elect to go with the normal red and blue starts here, respectively. Hecarim can start Raptors. That's a pretty popular one as well. So Hecarim's one of the few. Kayn can start Raptors. Rammus is also usually pretty good to start with Raptors. I think the wave clear out of this Ziggs is going to be something that's tough for the Garen to deal with. The only thing that Garen has working in his favor is that he doesn't have to concern himself with mana. So again, we're just going to see a lot of farming here. Doesn't really surprise me. Garen's going to be pretty much playing under tower, so I would imagine an early gank is going to be coming up top. Hecarim should be looking to go up there probably at level 3. It would make sense. If I was Hecarim, I would probably go ahead and clear this Scuttle Crab and start to look to go top. And it does look like he's at least going Scuttle, but the issue with that is he's going to be caught out now. And Ziggs, as you can see, is just kind of backing just a little bit just to see where it's going to go ahead and go. So Garen's just going to go ahead and be stuck up there in the top lane. Hecarim's able to go ahead and go down here, get the Gromp. This ward is about half over, so we could start to see, we do see that Zac is now in the mid lane. I'm really going to be curious to see what kind of build that this Lulu goes for. If it's going to be the machine gun one, I really enjoy the machine gun Lulu. It's definitely not something that you see played too awfully much, but see a lot of just trading going on. Ari's got to be really careful. She's pretty low. She's polymorphed. We're going to see there's the Zac coming in. The CC train coming in from the Zac. Oh, the Lulu not able to flash far enough away. And that's going to be first blood going over to the Zac. Well played there by Bayport. Ari was really, really close. And you could tell that Lulu wanted to try to go ahead and get that kill. But unfortunately, she was just a little bit too overextended there. And they were able to make her pay. Sivir with a nice shield there. That's going to be, I think, a tough thing here for the bot lane of Case. Is basically there's a double shield on this Sivir. Because Sivir's able to go ahead, use her shield, get a bunch of mana regen. And then Morgana's able to go ahead and shield that as well. So Kai'Sa is getting quite a bit of a CS advantage here. Morgana's going to go ahead and land a nice QW combo there and get some of those procs off her Spell Thief. I hope that Zac is starting to look to come down to the bot side. It looks like Hecarim is starting to go ahead and travel down to the bot side here. Just going to go ahead and drop a ward. The Infernal Drake is going to be the first one that's up, and given the amount of AP and AD out of Bayport, I would imagine that they're going to go ahead and try to look for this play here. See, Hecarim is starting to go ahead and start to roam a little bit here into the mid. Just going to go ahead and try to get a little bit of deep vision there. Case has done a pretty good job of keeping vision priority on the river here. There's not too much left here for Hecarim to go ahead and farm. Hecarim is just at 5, so it's going to be a little bit before he's able to go ahead and get up to the level 6 that he's going to go ahead and need to be for a lot of solid engage here. Ziggs, despite the wave push, is not doing as much as I expected. But I would imagine once he's able to go ahead and back, which he's sitting at about 1,400 gold at this point, and he's actually down in gold differential, which is kind of surprising. But again, that's going to be the tough thing here too for Bayport is if this Garen gets going, what are you going to do in order to shred it? Because he's going to be able to get a ton of magic resist. He's going to get probably Spirit Visage, maybe. Ziggs go ahead and using the blast away there. Ziggs is going to be able to just... Or, sorry, Garen's going to be able to go ahead and get the Spirit Visage, and then Ziggs is going to lose a lot of pressure there, as Ziggs is almost dead up there on the top. Going to go ahead and have to back here, so that was a pretty good 1v1 up there in the top lane. Go ahead and jump down to the bot lane here, see what's going on down here. Pyke is trying to go ahead and land something, just going to go ahead and let it time out there. Sivir elected to go ahead and get Berserker Greaves first. So just to increase that attack speed. Again, here comes the Sivir shield. And there it is. Morgana's able to go ahead and land quite a bit of damage there as well. Morgana's got to be careful here. Sivir could push, but she's electing to just go ahead and play passive, which I think is the smart call. Your support is almost dead here. And if Pyke hits 6, he'll be able to just dive in real quick, get the dunk, and then just back out real easy. Here comes the Zac. Going to go ahead and see a little bit of CC coming out. Ahri's also down here. The Zac does have the passive available. There's the charm out of Ahri. That's going to be a kill going over to Ahri. Now Pyke is going to go ahead and start dunking on people here. We see that, too, that the Lulu has made her way down to the bot lane here as well. But it's just going to be a 1-for-1 trade there. That's going to be Ahri going down and Kai'Sa going down there for Case. So looks like Lulu's going to try to take some of this farm and push the wave back up under tower there. Again, once Pyke hits 6 there, it's a nice 1v1 up in the top lane there. Actually, sorry, it wasn't a 1v1, but either way, it's a nice go ahead and kill over to Garen there. Ziggs starting to go ahead, does have the Sheen completed, and does have the Ether Wisp completed as well. Lulu's going to start to be putting some pressure down on this turret. Ahri getting that kill is going to be helpful, though, in order to try to catch back up here in the mid lane. What I'm curious is if this Lulu is going to build a little bit more of like the support utility style Lulu, and just use kind of like her abilities to boost up Kai'Sa. So that way Kai'Sa can really just shred through everything. Which will be interesting. I mean, that's totally a build that's totally viable. Because then you have Pyke that's also a damage dealer. But then you also then have the ability of Lulu to go ahead and speed up and help out your ADC and really just shred a lot of the damage. There's the Lulu ult, and the Zac ult going to go ahead and bring her right under tower, and that's going to be another kill going over to Ahri. So, again, a really, really good engage there by that Zac jungle. That's something that I think is really well done there. Ziggs just constantly just trying to burst this Garen away. Zac's going to go ahead and have to retreat. We do see that Pyke and Hecarim are there. Pyke misses the hook there. And Zac is able to just go ahead and walk away. See a nice little engage here. Ahri's going to get caught out a little bit. There's the Hecarim ultimate. Ari is going to be able to get away because that was a nice... Oh, not able to get away. But Ziggs is going to fade back. Shoots and score. So it's going to be an Infernal Drake. Sorry, I am working two fronts here, trying to keep up on some Discord messages as well. So for those of you that are watching, please take and heed this word. Don't use a universal password for everything. Otherwise, your Blizzard account and your League of Legends account could go ahead and both be compromised in the same day when you're about to play a playoff match. So Ari's going to go ahead and get caught out here. That's going to be another kill going over to the Hecarim there. Stayed a little bit too long, and that's going to be an assist going over to Lulu. So Lulu does have that Grail completed as well, so going to give her quite a bit more sustain and lane, a little bit more magic resist as well. But the issue is once the Ari starts to get a little bit beefier, which she's electing to go ahead, and she's got the Hex Tech completed first, which, again, I'm not super familiar with how to play Ari, so that could be a normal thing to build first, but I would imagine Luden's Echo for the mana and the large AP boost, but I could easily be mistaken as well. This Garen's going to go ahead and get his third plate off of this turret here, so Ziggs has completed a Lich Bane. So that's going to be quite a bit of movement speed and AP. As we see, Garen is starting to go down here to Rift Herald. It'll be curious. Ziggs could elect to go ahead and go. We see Lulu's coming here as well. Ziggs just pushing up the wave here. And it looks like they're going to go ahead and try to collapse down here. I don't think that Kay should keep committing to this, because Bayport knows you're there. And once that Zac, they are going to go ahead and they are going to go for it. And actually, Bayport has stolen away Rift Herald, so that was well played there. The Hex Tech is working there for Ari. Garen's going to go ahead and flash into the back there, and he's going to go ahead and just be able to dunk on him. So although Bayport was able to go ahead and secure this away, they're not going to be able to get it. And it's actually going to cost them 2 kills. So that's going to be 2 kills going over to, I believe Garen got both of them. And we see down here in the bot lane now that Pyke was able to go ahead and get a dunk onto Sivir, but was killed by the turret. So positive thing for Case there is that they didn't go ahead and give over a kill to the enemy ADC. But Zac here trying to keep Garen off for a little bit here. Going to go ahead and try to CC. I don't think that Zac's got the damage right now at level 9, given the fact that Garen is as far ahead as he is. Looks like Lulu's going to go ahead and try to be pushing for the Scuttle Crab here. Meanwhile, the bot lane here for Case is pushing up on this turret. So again, this Garen is getting pretty far ahead, is actually has the gold to complete the Triforce. So could easily go ahead and start to get really, really powerful here, and should be able to go ahead and really start split pushing. And I don't think the team composition for Bayport is going to be able to do anything against the split push of Garen. You don't even need Garen to like jump into these team fights, as he's about to go ahead and take this turret here, because there's no, he's got Merc Treads, no armor. But what are you going to send in order to try to deal with this? We go ahead and jump down to the bot lane here. Ziggs is going to go ahead and throw it up. Oh, and Pyke misses the dunk, unfortunately. Lulu is able to go ahead and get the kill over onto Ziggs, though. So that's going to be another kill going over to the side of Case. Ari's trying to put some pressure down here. I don't think it's going to be enough. There's a wave here, so it looks like Case could be trying to go ahead and push into this next turret here. And I think there's going to be enough damage. Pyke's going to go ahead and dive in. The Hecarim ult's coming out. Hecarim's going to go ahead and dive in here onto the Morgana and the Sivir. Sivir's going to go ahead and get a kill. I don't think it's going to be enough. There's going to be a shutdown for Morgana, and that's just a crazy exchange there. So Lulu's going to go ahead and dive away. Meanwhile, Garen's in the mid by himself with that demolish. They're just going to go ahead and be able to secure another turret. Zac dove in now, and now he's going to have to go ahead and deal with the Garen here as well. And he's not going to have enough damage for that. So that was a 3v2 trade there in the favor of Case. And again, this Garen is just going to start shredding these waves, and it's just going to be pushing everything in. Now ahead on CS as well, has a huge item advantage. Actually, Garen could probably really back right now, complete his Triforce and start to get the next item build there. So going to go ahead and pull out the Mountain Drake. I don't agree with this, as you're pretty much alone. The entire enemy team is up now at this point. I know you do have Hecarim and Lulu here available. Hecarim takes the Blast Cone over. See the other ones coming in here. And we see that Ziggs was actually able to go ahead and get the Rift Herald. So it's probably going to have to pull off some of Case here off of the Drake. But it looks like they're going to go ahead and commit to this. Meanwhile, up in the top lane, Ziggs and Shelly are probably going to be pushing for 2 plates here. Or, sorry, 2 turrets. There's another nice charge there by Shelly. Ziggs is just at least able to go ahead, especially with that demolish. So they may be able to go ahead and get another charge off of Shelly here. So they're pretty close to just being able to break into the base here. So it's not a common strategy here, but it is going to be effective. And it forces Garen at least to back off and deal with it here. So meanwhile, the rest of Case is in the mid lane here, pushing it up. Zac is sitting on it. That's a nice Morgana Q there. Unfortunately, there's not much follow-up. The Ziggs ultimate came down. The slow there onto the Hecarim. That's going to be some damage coming down. But Ari's able to go ahead and get it, and then goes and gets the charm. And that's going to be a kill going over to Sivir there. And we're going to go ahead and see Hecarim's got to be careful here. Morgana, if she lands another Q, she is able to go ahead and land another Q. Ziggs goes and gets into the way, gets pulled in, but is able to get out of the tower by using Flash. Sivir, or Ari's able to go ahead and get the shutdown there onto Pyke. And now Bayport has swung huge into their favor. They should be able to go ahead and knock down this tier 1 turret in the mid lane. They have the demolish. Garen's going to go ahead and back off. The Ziggs is just able to do a ton of turret damage. So even if he's not super effective in team fights right now, he's able to at least put the pressure and kind of split push in his own way. So who knows? Maybe this Zig pick here is going to work out for Bayport after all. Do you see that Sivir has completed the Infinity Edge and is starting to work on a second Zeal item? Ari was able to go ahead and finish the Ghost there, or the Twin Ghosts, Twin Shadows, sorry. Meanwhile, Zac is working on looks like a Thornmail there. With Zac though, you really want the health. So if you're not, you could go with the Bramble Vest first, but then I really think that you need to go ahead and finish the Warmogs. Because the regen on Zac, the health is just so important. It gives you a lot of ability to stay in team fights a lot longer. And allows you to just regen real quick. Pyke's coming in here. Sivir's here as well. Ziggs is caught in a bad spot here. Able to go ahead and blast away, but it's not going to be enough. And Kai'Sa's going to go ahead and meet Sivir there as well. Have to flash over the bush. Otherwise, Sivir was going to go ahead and turn a double kill there. So see Hecarim and Lulu trying to get some priority over the Baron pit there, trying to clear out a bunch of wards. Morgana's here with Ahri and Sivir, so Case needs to be careful, especially with Pyke being down, so that's quite a bit of their engage. Hecarim could get to the back line, but it looks like there's a nice big wave in the bot lane there for Bayport to push out. Meanwhile, I think this would be a very interesting call if they're just going to go ahead and clear out wards. That makes sense. But, I mean, you just saw that a majority of Case just elected to back. So, could have been risky, but Bayport could have tried to go for something there. Again, you have vision in the Baron pit, so that's super helpful. Pyke's clearing it out, though. There's another control ward place. Case is trying to put a lot of priority right now over this Baron pit. Maybe trying to get a team fight here. There is some vision there. So Bayport knows exactly where they are. The Ahri Charm's able to go ahead and land. Pyke's going to go ahead and regen quite a bit, though. So that ward there in the rivers is playing an important role here. If Zach is able to go ahead and get one of those engages down, I like the amount of CC that Bayport has within these team fights, and I think it'll be a team fight that goes in the favor at this point. Again, Zach is now sitting on a ward, so he's caught out, so Case knows where he is. Keep an eye on this Hecarim too. He's going to be the determining factor as to when the engage happens. Lulu's actually going to tell Zach that they know where he is. I don't think I would have done that because now Zach knows that he was sitting on a ward and you basically gave it away. It does look like Case is going to start to work down here to the Dragon Pit, at least get this Scuttle Crab, and then look to go ahead and take potentially their third Drake of the game. Or they could potentially just try to bait this. If Bayport really wants to, you let them go for that Drake and you call for Baron. So then you're going to really force them to determine what they want to do. Ahri's dropping the Twin Shadows there. Lands the Charm onto Lulu. Both of these teams trying to set up for this Drake here. It's going to be close. We see that Case has started it up, and they're just going to shred it down. There's no way that Bayport is going to be able to contest it. We see the Hecarim ult being used. Ziggs is going to have to use the little springboard thing to get over the wall there, so that way he's not caught out. And now we're going to see Case just kind of running it down mid here. They have a wave here. They're going to push that up, and now they're looking to go up to top, push in that another tier 2 that's up there. And they're just going to keep cycling. The waves are all pushing within their favor. And if they really want to, they're just going to be able to keep smashing these objectives down. We have a pause coming in, and it looks like someone lost connection there. Hopefully they're just able to reset their client and they're able to go ahead and get back in. Looks like we're already going to go ahead and jump right back in here. So we are back in right away here. Sivir and Ahri on the bot side, just pushing this wave out. Again, I think if this game farms and goes to late game, I like the team composition a little bit better for Bayport. That's going to be a solid team fight going into the favor of Case, and that's going to be Baron as they peel off, and that's what they're calling for here. And I don't think, given the fact that Zach isn't there, well, Zach is there, but this is a huge one. Zach could look to go in, and unfortunately, the polymorph there from Lulu came out at just the right time as Zach was just trying to get into it there, and that's going to go ahead and be Baron going over, and Zach passive is being popped here, so Case is going to go ahead and get the kill going over there, and now they're looking to break into the base here of Bayport. They got a nice wave here in the mid lane, and they could be looking to go ahead and crack into this base here. All they have to essentially do, well, Garen's just going to go ahead and just press Q on the turret there and just drop it. Ziggs is silenced. Hecarim's going to go ahead and dash in for that one, get another kill going over there. That's the first inhib going in. See a wave up in the top lane that if Case wanted to, they could push that in. They could get that tier 2 turret up there. And it's looking like there's another wave that's in a good spot down in the bot lane. So Bayport's going to go ahead and start to look to try to kind of turtle at this point and try to hope that they can get a pick here and there. Then we are going to see one more Drake, I believe, coming up here. And there's going to be a few minutes here now that Case has the Baron buff and they're on the power play here. They've stretched this to almost a 7k gold lead here too. So Garen up here all by himself. Going to see the Zach coming in here. There's the CC. But again, just look at how tanky he is. Even with only having Merc Treads there, he is able to just sustain so much damage from this Ahri. Like she's not even there. Ahri's dashing forward, but can't really stay too late because now she's going to go ahead and be well beyond where she should be. And that's going to be a free kill going over to Kaisa. And now here's 5 members of Case just sieging turrets here. Pyke misses the snare. Ziggs getting caught out there. There comes the dash forward there from Hecarim. Hecarim and Garen are just going to sit there and wait and go ahead and get the kills. As we see now, there goes the next turret cracking in. That's going to be inhib number 2. And actually, depending on how aggressive Case wants to be, they could actually be looking to go onto the Nexus here. And that's exactly what Garen is doing. He's just able to go ahead and just smash Q after a demolish and clear this out. I think this is going to be game 1 going over to Case as Hecarim is just slashing away on the Nexus, and that is game 1 going over to Case. Solid game there by both teams. I think early game could have gone either way. Pretty good job there. Questions now on the draft. That Kaisa damage, though. The Ziggs damage here, I might have to look these up after this game because I want to make sure that we can get right into the draft here. But yeah, the Ziggs top was questionable. If it had been against anything other than Garen, though, I think it would have been super helpful because Garen was just able to go ahead and just build one item, and then all of a sudden he just became super tanky. So so it looks like Case is going to go ahead and elect to stay on the blue side there. So as we're going to go ahead and wait for Bayport to get into the lobby. Meanwhile, so go ahead and do the shout out. Again, we have some sponsors down here on the bottom left of the stream. They've been making this happen. Really appreciate them helping the community. And making the state championship a reality for Saturday. Without the help of these companies and these people, I don't know if we would be able to put on. I don't know if we would be able to put on the state championship the way that we're going to. So, I did get trophies. The trophies are ready for pickup. I'm going to grab those tomorrow at 3:30. T-shirts are going to be ready to go as well tomorrow, so I'm going to go ahead and pick those up as well. So everybody that's showing up to Game On Saturday will get a free T-shirt in order to go ahead and go. We do have a nice food truck on site available for you as well. We're going to have all the final matches will be streamed. We'll have an award ceremony where we actually present the winning team with the award. We'll have some interviews available here as well. So hopefully it'll be a really, really fun day. It's going to be a long day, but it's going to be a fun day. So as we are kind of looking at the brackets here right now, the winner of this game will go on into the semifinals and will be playing Milton. So for Division 1, we have Wausau West against Wilmont, and winner of this game will go ahead and go on to play Milton in the semifinals for Division 1. Division 2, we already have McFarland and West Appear locked in. They're looking to play, West Appear is going to play the winner of Whitnall versus Clinton, and McFarland's going to play the winner of Tosa West against Montello. We already have the semifinals ready to go for Overwatch. We got Horlick against Case, so we got a Racine showdown there, and we have Bayport against Walden. So there is a chance that we could have an all Racine final for Overwatch. We don't have any of the matches confirmed yet for Rocket League. All those matches are going on today as well. So, so pretty exciting. Looks like both teams are about ready to go ahead and get started here. I'm going to go ahead and take a quick break, but I'll be right back, hopefully in time. All right, into the picks and bans phase here of Game 2. Case is electing to go ahead and ban the Ziggs away. The Lulu ban coming out here for Bayport. Again, the Ziggs ban, I don't know if I would have let it gone through again. Like, the Urgot ban coming out, I can understand that. I definitely would have, I would have let the Ziggs. I mean, your Garen beat it. Like, so unless they decide to go ahead and ban Garen, like, you can still probably run just about any kind of tank up in the top lane. Like, that probably means that the Scion would have gone through. So, I mean, this is the chess match that I really love about League of Legends. When you have 140 champions that you can pick from, it's sometimes hard to, like, understand, like, oh my god, if they play Ziggs top, what do I play into that? Like, I've never had to play against that. So sometimes those off-meta picks are really, really effective. I like the Morgana ban, and I like the Gragas ban coming out here too. So we're going to see probably something a little bit different. I like the Tom Kench. So that probably tells me that there's going to be a not very mobile ADC, something like a Varus, or maybe an Ashe coming out there for Case. If they follow, you know, what pro play is doing and stuff like that. Like, Tom Kench is traditional to play with a an ADC that lacks mobility. Vlad is one that could come top. Could also be flexed into the mid. It's really, really good up into the top lane right now. The J4 coming out in the jungle there for Bayport. The Lee Sin, if that's what they're going to go ahead and lock in. I like the engage of Lee Sin. We saw a really good Lee Sin yesterday, and how effective it was, able to get into the back line there and just really deal a lot of damage. The ability to get in and out of fights, or to find somebody in the jungle and just 1v1 them, Lee Sin is one of the best. Gonna go ahead and be the LeBlanc pick there into the mid. That's a tough one for J4 in order to really lock onto and gank, with the ability that the LeBlanc can just clone herself and dash in and dash out, basically. Seeing the Thresh locked in. Thresh is a really good utility support, so especially if they're going to go ahead and go with a not very mobile ADC, the Thresh makes a lot of sense. Able to hook them, pull them in, flay them up, and that way then your ADC can just really burst them down. So both schools just electing to go ahead and hold off on picking the ADCs. So I would imagine that's what we're going to see quite a few of the bans. The Kaisa ban, that's fine. But again, that's a high mobility ADC. Doesn't usually pair well with Tahm Kench. Getting rid of the Darius up in the top lane, that's okay with me. Honestly, one of the things that I suffer the most against is playing against Tahm Kench up in the top lane. Ugh. Builds Wit's End first and just shreds me down for some reason. And I don't get why. But yeah, it's one of those things that's effective if you know how to play it up into the top lane. And then we are going to go ahead and see the Garen ban coming out as well. So forcing the top laner there onto something different. I'm kind of surprised. Actually, I'm not surprised. That's an okay ban. Get rid of Garen. That was really effective for Case last game. So, and the last and final pick coming out here is going to be the Sejuani, which I don't understand. If they've already picked a jungler, which is, I mean, J4 can flex top, but it's not super popular. The Hecarim was able to go ahead and go through as well. Bayport's able to go ahead and take the Varus, so that could mean that the Ashe is coming out for... And it's going to be the Vayne. I don't get it, but that's okay. You know, as long as it works for them, that's all that matters. And so we are going to go ahead and see the support pick coming out, or actually the top pick. So that's going to be a Volibear top. Okay. Okay, Case, I see you. Bringing the bear into this. Nice. Not something that's super popular. I do believe that he did receive some buffs not too long ago. And then we're going to go ahead and see the Gnar pick coming in here as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at that matchup there. So I'm going to go ahead and let's check Volibear top. Not terrible. Let's see how it plays into Gnar. Only 41 matches in all of the world where Volibear top plays against Gnar. So, and Volibear's got a little bit of a heads-up advantage. Looking at these runes here, probably going to go ahead and bring Conqueror, which that makes sense to me. I've been playing Alawi top with Conqueror, and it's a lot of fun, too, because it's all true damage, and it heals you. So when you drop your ult, it's just like you're constantly at full health. It's a lot of fun. As we enter into the delay here, I'll be right back. So it looks like we're having some technical difficulties here again. So it looks like Vlad still isn't moving, so hopefully is able to be loaded into the game here. There we go. Vlad did go ahead and purchase the Dark Seal there. I'm going to be really curious to see what this top lane matchup does. Come on, now my client closed. There we go. So again, it doesn't look like we're going to see any sort of invade going on here. That doesn't really surprise me. Again, every match that we've watched so far this playoffs, everybody's been super responsive to just let's do our jungling, let's get our lane going, and we'll win without having to cheese. So the Vlad into the LeBlanc, I think, is kind of interesting just because the Vlad's got so much sustain. So we'll see if the LeBlanc is able to deal enough damage just to be even able to deal with that. So it might be a while before LeBlanc is able to go ahead and deal that kind of damage. We'll see, too, if just Vlad is just able to go ahead and just farm up real fast. We see Lee Sin is not doing really any sort of counter jungling here. I would say is about a half a camp ahead already here, as he elected to go red, wolves, and now blue. Jarvan went blue. Well, so I guess you could say that Jarvan is ahead here, as Lee Sin's going to go ahead and finish his blue. Volibear trying to work on pushing this lane out. Going to be caught under tower. This is going to be my most interesting matchup. I'm really curious to see how well this is going to go. Volibear's going to go ahead and go in right away and force the Gnar to go ahead and jump out. And that's going to be first blood. There was a nice gank going over here into the mid lane. Go ahead and jump back 15 seconds here. We do see that Lee Sin, like I said, is able to go ahead and find in the jungle where he's at and was able to go ahead and punish him for it. So good job there. Go ahead and catch back up here. And we see, again, Volibear's going in up here on the top here, trying to push this Gnar, but I don't think that's going to be enough. Lee Sin is coming up. Gnar knows that he's there. Lee Sin misses the dash forward. Nothing's going to happen of it. LeBlanc getting pretty low here in the mid. Going to go ahead and look. Again, this Vlad does kind of have to be careful here. Does have the pool up and available. But the problem is that LeBlanc has both red and blue buff. So going to go ahead and pull away, but able to flash out. So Vlad's able to go ahead and get away there. LeBlanc is using... She does have Electrocute, but on her second one there, she does have the Dematerializer, and that did recently get reworked there. So able to give her a little bit more sustain in lane there. So Volibear is doing a really good job keeping up with CS here. I do think that Gnar needs to be careful here because as he's about to pull into the Mega Gnar form here, we do see that Volibear is coming in, drops the snare, gonna go ahead and flash, but then here comes the ultimate there. Volibear is gonna try to bite. Not able to get there, and we're just gonna have a reset here. So not much happens there out of that one. But once Gnar goes back down into the mini Gnar form, yeah, has to be careful. Do have to respect that Volibear now. Volibear does also need to respect, but it does look like J4 is backing. So don't have to concern yourself too much there. LeBlanc did go ahead and get the tome and the boots because of that additional first blood gold that she received there. We look down to the bot lane and we do see that the Tahm Kench and the Vayne were able to go ahead and get a kill. Ooh, that was a nice heal that came out there in order to save the Vayne. So good job there by the bot lane on Case there. So Thrush is trying to hold the wave here while his ADC comes back. Again, in the mid lane, I don't think Vlad's going to be able to get away from this one, and that's going to go ahead and be a kill going over to the LeBlanc. LeBlanc does also have that Dark Seal there too, so that she's going to start to deal quite a bit more AP damage now as she continues to get more stacks on that. So a shutdown earlier rather than later onto that LeBlanc is going to be really important for Bayport. See, the Lee Sin is clearing that Scuttle Crab, trying to put some pressure down on the bot lane. Not going to be able to do it. First turret plate going over to the LeBlanc here. She's just going to go ahead and get this last little bit of farm and most likely just going to go ahead and back. Maybe get 1-2 extra turret shots. Again, we see the Mega Gnar up top here. I think Gnar's got to be careful here because Volibear is getting close to 6. Going to go ahead and leap out of it. There's the flash up. And going to go ahead and have to blow the flash in order to get away from Volibear here. So Volibear should have taken into that bush just to drop aggro a little bit there as he's taking a little bit additional damage there. Kind of jump around here, look down into the bot lane. Vayne is starting to get quite a bit of a lead here over the Varus. It's not much, but kind of early game here, it is kind of a big deal there. That's sitting at about 13 CS advantage in favor of the Vayne. This is the matchup that I think is going to be really, really important for this. LeBlanc's going to be able to just dive forward, try to get the snare there, able to get the root, but wasn't able to go ahead and land the next little portion of the combo there. So Vayne is able to go ahead, or sorry, Vlad is able to go ahead and get away, and just going to just wait for this wave to come crash up under tower, and should be able to go ahead and re-heal using the pool. But unfortunately, LeBlanc is able to just dive forward like she's doing right there, and it forces the pool to come out there from Vlad, and needs to be careful now. So Vlad's going to go ahead and back away, and that's going to be another turret plate in the favor of LeBlanc. So LeBlanc is really starting to snowball here, and that's not good for Bayport. They're, in my opinion, one of the worst things in this game is a fed LeBlanc. She's just able to just dive around and put pressure everywhere. So that's going to be 2 plates so far going over to the favor of Case, and it's all going into the mid lane. As we see in the mid lane, LeBlanc is already at a 1,200 gold advantage over the Vlad. That's a massive difference. We do see that Gnar is going to go ahead and go down to the Volibear up here into the top lane. Volibear did use his ultimate, so was able to go ahead and secure that kill. 1v1 up there in the top lane. And now Volibear is going to be free to farm. He is a little bit behind here in CS, so although he has missed a couple there of freebies there, able to go ahead and probably put some pressure onto this turret. We do see that Gnar is going to go ahead and elect to use the TP. And again, we see another 1v1 kill here into the mid lane. LeBlanc able to just go ahead and get those roots and drops the ignite and is able to go ahead and get it. Catch back up here a little bit. Lee Sin just going to go ahead and dive in. Probably should be able to go ahead and 1v1 this. Oh, Dragon kicks the wrong way, unfortunately. And is not going to be... Oh, going to be greedy? Oh, going to be too greedy. And at least that's an execute there onto the Lee Sin. I thought he was going to go for it, but... Oh, that's tough. But meanwhile, up in the top lane, we did see that Gnar was able to go ahead and get the Volibear. So most likely Volibear just decided to stick around a little bit too long up there in the top lane. Gnar able to go ahead and TP in and go ahead and secure that kill. So that's... So the hard thing right now for this Vlad is you have to stop pushing the wave out. Unfortunately, you have to really just focus on last hitting under the turret. Let your turret do the damage, because when this wave is now frozen in the mid lane here, you're giving lane priority completely over to LeBlanc. You have to be really cautious about getting too close, even just to even get the C or the experience points. So again, LeBlanc's going to go ahead and just dive in here. Does use the ultimate. You know, in all honesty, Vlad, ultimate's not up just yet. So I was going to say, if he was able to go ahead and drop the ultimate there, I do think that Vlad could actually turn that around. But going to go ahead and back away there. We do see this fight up here in the top lane again. The Mega Gnar coming out, and is probably going to go ahead and be able to get this kill. But it looks like taking a lot of aggro damage from the minions, and now Volibear is going to go ahead and throw him up. But he's able to go ahead and leap away. Can Volibear secure this? He is going to be able to go ahead and secure the 1v1 again onto Gnar. So that was... I think Gnar should have just tried to get back under turret there, but unfortunately just tried to drop aggro from the minions, which again was smart, because taking that unnecessary damage there from the minions going to go ahead and just really be the end of it. Vlad coming in, and we do see that here comes the dive in from the J4. J4 is able to go ahead and get the shutdown, and that's going to be... Oh, actually, sorry, Vlad was able to get the shutdown on LeBlanc. J4 able to go ahead and get the Lee Sin. So there was a really good exchange there in the favor of Bayport. That's a good swing in their favor. Gonna have to see the jungle pressure coming up top there, though. This Volibear is starting to really bully this Gnar pretty early. So we do see that the J4 is setting up for this. I think J4 can, honestly, if he wanted to, he could probably just 1v1 this. But he's going to try to wait. There's the knockup. Really, see, I don't know. I don't think he should have waited. Gnar's just being super aggressive here and might actually cost him his life. That was an unnecessary flash by Gnar, but being super aggressive like that, yeah, you had to. And we do see that LeBlanc is coming up here as well. And if she wants to, she could really dive over this. That's exactly what she's going to do. She's just waiting in the bush here. She is going to get caught out by this control ward. And Gnar's going to go ahead and stay under turret, which is smart. LeBlanc will clear out this control ward. Meanwhile, Vlad in the mid lane does have completed the Hex Tech, the Proto Belt there. Meanwhile, Case is going to go ahead and start up the first Drake, secure it uncontested. Meanwhile, Bayport's bot lane is just trying to go ahead and catch back up a little bit on farm. I think they've done a good job of slowing down the CS lead there in the bot lane. We do see Volibear's diving in here onto Vlad, and I don't recommend that there, bud. We do see that J4 is here as well. This could be a team fight that goes into the favor of... Ooh, get the nice pull there, but the Lee Sin is there. Lee Sin's going to come in, try to drop some damage. Vlad doesn't have ultimate, so at least is able to go ahead and pull and keep healing up here. We'll continue to keep an eye here on what's happening in the mid lane, as 3 members mid tends to mean that something is going to happen. So, but meanwhile in the bot lane, putting up a little bit of pressure here, as now it looks like in the mid, both junglers are just going to go ahead and try to go back to farming here. I really need to see that this J4 comes down to the bot lane, because that Vayne is now sitting at about 40 CS ahead of Varus, and that's not going to be good here. As soon as Vayne finishes the what was that, Blade of the Root King? Yeah, finishes the Bork. Meanwhile, the Gnar and the Vlad trying to go ahead and get some turret damage down here. But meanwhile, up in the top lane, Volibear with that Demolish going to take a huge chunk out of this turret. And has a wave there. Should be able to get this down to about a third, if not a quarter remaining. Especially with that increased attack speed. Gnar finished his Swifties, which I find kind of interesting. I don't know if I've seen Gnar build Swifties. I would, given the team composition, I would imagine either Ninja Tabbies to deal with the Lee Sin and the Vayne, or at least Merc tries to deal with the LeBlanc. So again, going to see quite a bit of damage coming out here, and the Ignite is there, and that's a nice solo kill from the Vlad onto, oh, unfortunately the TP down there, the Condemn coming out there onto Gnar as well. Oh, the Thresh just missing the flash hook. There's the Varus ultimate, and we're going to go ahead and see. That's a nice turnaround there for Bayport in the bot lane. They are really turning this around. Volibear going in under this J4. J4 trying to deal some damage, but going to be stuck, unfortunately, in the pit. And I don't think the turret's going to deal enough damage, and it's not. So that's going to be another kill going under this Volibear up in the top lane. That was a great 1v1 kill there for Vlad going into the LeBlanc. I don't know if the LeBlanc just respected that there is now 5 stacks on that Dark Seal there for Vlad. So that's, again, a lot of AP ratio coming out. If we look down here into the bot lane, do you see that Gnar is trying to help, but meanwhile, Gnar being down here into the bot lane, trying to help his other laners get ahead. Up in the top lane, Volibear was able to go ahead and get that first turret. We see a nice exchange here between the Vlad and LeBlanc. The only problem is that Vlad is going to go ahead and just be able to go ahead and revive, basically, himself with a couple more pools. Needs to be careful, though, because LeBlanc can probably just dash in, elects to pool, tries to bait a little bit with the J4 being there. J4 is looking for it, trying to find it. Ooh, the Volibear is here as well. And we see that Vlad is trying to come in behind here as well. There's Gnar there as well. We see that J4 has to flash. And unfortunately, the Varus was just CC'd, just stunned there, just waiting. And Vayne was able to go ahead and secure the kill down there in the bot lane. And that's going to be another turret going over into the favor of Case. Lee Sin diving in there, trying to go ahead and get into the mid lane. Try to dive in here and see what's going on. Meanwhile, on the bot lane, it looks like they're just going to go ahead and back off. Gnar trying to help, but Gnar doesn't really have any sort of MR in order to sustain against this LeBlanc. And the damage that this Volibear is starting to dish out does have his Swifties completed here as well. Lee Sin does have his kick available, so if Lee Sin tries to go in, could easily kick the Gnar or kick the J4 back into the fight here and start to deal some serious damage. So we do see that all 5 members, or for Case, are here and are looking for a play. So getting some deep vision down here. LeBlanc's going to go ahead and dive forward, going to go ahead and get the root, and that's going to be a nice kill coming out to the LeBlanc there. Just hopping over the wall, almost knowing exactly where that Varus was, and just bursts them down real quick. So again, here's something that you may want to consider if you're Bayport right now in this matchup. Buying a QSS early like this, just because of the CC of that LeBlanc, you could at least drop the QSS. Do you see a nice engage coming in here? Gnar into the back line, but Vlad's able to go ahead and get that kill going onto the LeBlanc. Vayne gets the kill and the shutdown onto the Vlad. Lee Sin's able to get the Thresh, and that's going to be this tier 1 mid turret going down for free. There's nothing that Bayport can do right now in this situation. Do you see the Tom Kench taking them for a ride up into the top lane? Because they are looking for another tier 2. Here into the mid though, Vayne able to go ahead and get the kill down, and Varus can't do anything, can't can't deal enough damage there in order to go ahead and secure the kill onto the Lee Sin or onto the Vayne. So meanwhile, top lane, Volibear and Tahm Kench able to go ahead and just put a lot of pressure here onto this tier 2 top turret. And I don't think they have enough damage in order to go ahead and get it. There is another wave here. But if they really want to, it does look like they are going to try to stay and try to get this. Thresh coming in, lands the Flay. Vlad is here as well, so they do have quite a bit of damage. Vlad does have his pool available here. They are going to go ahead and get the kill onto the Tahm Kench. That goes over to the Gnar, so that's a pretty good kill going over in their favor. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, though, LeBlanc is just pushing up this wave, forcing Bayport in order to try to rotate in order to keep up with some of this. We see J4 is on the other side of that wall, sitting on a ward, though, so LeBlanc knows that he's there. Meanwhile, should just try to push these waves out, get that little bit of CS. Up into the top lane here. Volibear trying to come in onto this Gnar. Going to go ahead and try to get the fear, but the Gnar is just able to go ahead and use his Swifties as well to try to get away from Volibear and his Swifties. Volibear needs to be careful on this because Gnar is really, really close to Mega Gnar. And there is Mega Gnar that comes out. And they are able to get the throw into the wall. And Vlad is here. And that's going to be a kill going on to the LeBlanc. Vlad able to get to the shutdown onto the Volibear. But I don't know if Vlad's got enough damage in order to get anywhere else. And that's going to be a flash forward coming out from the Vayne. And it's going to get the kill onto the Vlad. Thresh is up against the ropes here. Can't really go anything. And that's going to be another kill going over to the Vayne. So that's a double kill going over to the ADC. And now Case, again, swings the momentum in their favor. Could be looking to try to push up this mid turret. Smart job trying to counter jungle as much as possible here. Really just try to choke the resources away from Bayport and to turn this in their favor. I thought that was a really good job there from Gnar, but unfortunately there's just not enough of the rest of the team members there. We do see that Lee Sin was able to go ahead and get a kill onto that J4. Lee Sin has completed the Guardian Angels, so that's really important. Basically says that Bayport, you have to kill me twice. Meanwhile, Lee Sin just able to just dive into the back lane and kick people left and right. We do see the Gnar trying to dive in, but the Devour coming out from Tahm Kench saves his Vayne. Good Devour use there by the Tahm Kench. Again, Gnar needs to be really careful here because Vayne going to be able to go ahead and those procs are going to be coming quicker and quicker here. Once she's finished with that, probably going to go with the Rage Blade here. But again, there's no armor. Another great Devour there saves the Vayne. Meanwhile, Volibear just split pushing up in the top lane. Not much that Bayport is able to do. Volibear is looking to go ahead and get into the top lane there. Meanwhile, Tahm Kench and Vayne using the Tahm Kench ultimate. That's a really good use of the Tahm Kench ultimate. I think that was a great job. That's one thing that I've seen Tahm Kench come out a couple of times here in the Wisconsin High School Esports. But that ultimate is used to put pressure on other sides of the map. So using it to go ahead and go down to this bot lane with his ADC, secure another turret in their favor, and there's nothing that Bayport can do. They really are doing a great job of choking the resources out of Bayport, and Case is looking really strong right now. So do you see that's going to be Vayne getting the Scuttle Crab there? There is this Drake up for grabs here pretty soon. Honestly, if I'm Case, I'm just going to go ahead and back, item up, and then start to push another wave because eventually that Drake will just be free because I don't think that Bayport can really look to go for it. Oh, stop. So we see J4 going in, and there's going to be the Lee Sin kick to just go ahead and get him out of the back there. That Condemn coming out from the Vayne. So again, Nard gets away just barely as he has a little bit of armor now. Unfortunately, the Vlad is kind of stuck out there in no man's land, not able to go ahead and do enough damage. Meanwhile, the Tom Kench and the Vayne just able to go ahead and get into these team fights. You got 5 members basically mid here, so it looks like they're going to go ahead and call for Baron. This is going to be one of those 50-50 Barons that I don't think that... And it looks like Case is going to get a Baron for free here as J4 and them are backing. They have to really just deal with this LeBlanc, who's able to go ahead and put so much split pusher pressure onto all of this. So not much that they can do. Should be, again, just a free Baron coming out here. Sorry, unfortunately, my client keeps coming out. Keeps dropping there. So that's Baron going over to Case, and this is going to be a free Mountain Drake going over to Case as well. So that's going to be 3 Drakes and Baron now, as we see this gold lead is at about 10K. 10K is a very huge, that's a monumental difference between the two teams. So if we kind of look to see where the biggest differences are within this, it's in the bot lane. Vayne has a 4K gold advantage over the Varus. And that's huge. So again, we see that they have the Rage Blade completed, and she's got the is that Phantom Dancer completed as well there. So if I'm not mistaken, now Vayne's W will proc on 2 hits and not 3. So that's huge. So any armor that you're really building on the side of Bayport is just going to get shredded away. So we see the Vayne or the Vlad able to take the Thresh Lantern there. That one last auto attack there from Vayne, able to go ahead and find just like heat seeking over the wall. And again, we see 5 members here of Case just able to go ahead and put pressure down on this turret. The LeBlanc's going to get devoured away. There's the Jarvan ultimate in there, but I don't know if there's enough damage. We see a lot going on here. Vayne kills the J4. Varus gets the LeBlanc. Vayne gets the Varus. Vlad's going to go ahead and have to stopwatch. Vayne gets the kill over onto Thresh. That's a triple kill. Volibear gets the kill onto Vlad. And that's going to be inhib. And potentially, if they want to go for this... Oh, they don't have a minion wave. Unfortunately, I would say that they could really look to go ahead and go for this. Tom Kench going to go ahead and try to take some turret shots here. Meanwhile, the rest of his team is going to go ahead and push up this turret here. They're going to go ahead and try to crack into a second inhib. They have the damage here from the Vayne and the Lee Sin in order to do so. Meanwhile, Volibear is just able to go ahead and heal up. That's going to be 2 inhibs, and that's a huge crack in Bayport space here. So I don't know how much that they're going to be able to do here. There's just not enough damage in these team fights anymore. And especially when Case has Baron buff, there's not much that you're able to do here. So Bayport trying to find something to give them some sort of advantage to get them back into this game. Shutting down the Vayne would be a huge first step. Trying to target her in a fight, but Tom Kench has done a fantastic job protecting his ADC. So gotta give a shout out there to the support. Vlad has to use that proto belt just to get away. The J4 dives in here, but gets condemned against the wall. The Thresh lands the hook, but there's not enough damage here. So we see the Tom Kench coming in. A lot has been used now on the side of Bayport to try to get to the Vayne, and unfortunately not able to get to the Vayne. Vayne's going to go ahead and now tumble into this. The Nard tries to do something, but unfortunately not enough damage. Thresh needs to be careful. Here come the super minions into the base, and I think the Vayne is just going to be able to stand to that backline. Is super fed. The Devour again coming out. We'll go ahead and we see that first Nexus turret. It's going to go ahead and drop. Meanwhile, LeBlanc's trying to get onto the second one there. Vayne gets the kill onto the Gnar, and the Volibear gets it. And that's going to be a 2-0 victory here for Case. Sorry, I hope I'm not speaking too soon, but they easily have the Nexus here. And just going to go ahead and try to get one more. But that's going to go ahead and be a 2-0 victory in the favor of Case. Case is going to go ahead and move on to the semifinals. And in the semifinals, they are going to be looking to play Milton. So should be a pretty good game there. Look forward to seeing all 4 teams here in Division 1 on Saturday. The schedule is available on the Discord channel. I'm going to wait to hear too from going to go ahead. I know Montello and Tosa are underway here. Whitnall is playing Clinton. Let's double check to see if the scores are in here on. They are not. So I'm guessing the games are still going underway for Clinton and Whitnall. So look onto the Discord channel to see who comes out victorious today. Otherwise, that's going to be it for me today. And we shall see you on Saturday. Have a good one. Peace.